We're going to be talking today about the most important real estate on the internet. And we're also going to be talking about the second best way to get your phone to ring or to get your door to swing. What we're going to be talking about is Google My Business. And except for door knocking, except for going out and cold calling or getting on the phone and cold calling, there is nothing you can do when you've started up a new business, or even if you've been in business for 20 years, there is nothing you can do that's going to get your business faster than to get to the top ranking on Google My Business. You'll notice the one we have right here in front of us, Bill Raymond Home Mortgages, is number one under the topic of Mortgage Broker Los Angeles. Now, Mortgage Broker Los Angeles, you can imagine, there's a lot of mortgage brokers in the city of Los Angeles. But Bill Raymond, who is my client, is number one under that category. How did we do that? How can you become number one even on such a competitive category? That's what we're going to be talking about when you are number one in this three-pack. If you're not familiar, let's take a quick look. At the top of the page, when you've looked up Mortgage Broker Los Angeles, you'll have ads. After the ads, usually the very next thing will be Google My Business, which is this map, and then generally 3 different companies. If you are not in that 3-pack, your phone is not going to ring as a result of Google search. Very seldom. But if you're in the number 1 spot, your phone's going to ring a lot. Number 2 spot, a little less. Number 3 spot, a little less. Now, you might be in the View All category. You can click on View All, and you'll see lots and lots and lots of companies over here on View All. Okay, they're all over the map. But if you're not in that top 3, then you are not going to be receiving nearly as much activity for your company. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But we're not going to be talking about the basics. If you don't know the basics of setting up your Google My Business listing, or if you've already set it up but you'd like to get more information about the basics, then you want to go to freebusinesshelpnow.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page where you will find this link. Click on the link and you'll go to a very long article that talks about all the details of setting up Google My Business. And then down here, you'll find this tutorial put on by Dan Nira from Burn Media Group. It's a several video tutorial that talks about all the basics. So for the basics, that's where you want to go. We're not going to be talking about the basics for the next few days. What we're going to be talking about are the secret sauces. We're going to be talking about the things that you would have to search long and hard to learn about Google My Business in order to get to that top ranking. I've been doing this for a very long time, and over that long time, I've learned the secrets, and I'm going to share every one of them with you at absolutely no cost, no obligation. You don't have to call me, but comment down below if this is something you think could help your company. Push the like button if you like this kind of content, or you think you're going to anyway. We'll invite you to like it again later after you've heard the content. Let's now talk about the special sauce. Let's start by talking conceptually. You and I both understand, I think, that what Google wants is they want to own everything there is about information. They don't want you to go anywhere else. They don't want you to go to Bing. They don't want you to go to any other search engine. They want you to go 100% to Google for all the information you need about everything in life, okay? With Google My Business, where Google is hoping to have every single business in the world listed, what Google is looking for is 3 things. They're looking for relevance, distance, and prominence. So when you go looking for something, you're going to want something that's close by. So that's the distance part. You're going to want something that's relevant to your search. You're not going to want to go looking for Italian restaurants and end up finding Italian shoes as part of the listing. Or you're not going to want to go looking for Italian restaurant and find that you're getting Chinese restaurants instead. So they want it to be relevant to your search. And finally, prominence. They're going to only list the items at the top of the page. They're going to give a lot of ranking benefit to those search results that are the most prominent in a community. So if you have 5 Italian restaurants, they're going to want to give more ranking benefit to the company that is prominent on the internet, prominent in the community, that's making the biggest splash. Okay, that's it. Simple thing. Everything we're going to talk about from now on is going to be how you can become more relevant and more prominent, because guess what? You can't fix the distance. Your business is located where it's located. You can't fix the distance other than opening additional locations. So we're not going to talk anything about distance. Everything's going to be about relevance and prominence. All right, so where do we start? First of all, you want to go to business.google.com, and that's where you're going to set up your account. If you've already got an account, it should be listed. You should be able to find it on business.google.com. When you get to that location, you're going to want to click. In this case, we're going to go on to Bill Raymond Home Mortgages again. I'm going to click on that, and we're going to see his setup. Okay. So, like everything else on the internet, the number one thing that you can do to become more relevant and more prominent is to do keywording everywhere, to make sure that your keywords are in every single place that you can possibly put them. That would start with, as we go down here into info, that would start with the name of your business. We did an entire video on how to name your business. You can see that up here in the card above. You can go read all about how to name your business. But needless to say, Bill Raymond Home Mortgages takes care of 2 big keywords here, home mortgages, okay? Next, of course, he's located in Los Angeles. The service area is Los Angeles. These are simple things. These are the easy parts, okay? The website that Bill uses is called Mortgage Help Los Angeles. So once again, the website, the URL, has those keywords. And we'll talk in a minute about the combination of how Google looks back and forth between your listing and your actual website in order to get a bunch of information about how prominent you are with regard to what services or products that you're offering. Okay. Then as you search down here, we're going to get into services. And you'll notice that we have a long list of services. Now let's click in to the services. Let's look under refinancing. Once you're in refinancing, and I haven't done this so that you can see what the opportunity is here, under refinancing, you have a service description. If you are interested in refinancing your mortgage, Bill Raymond can help you put together the best possible deal. So here you've used refinancing, which is a category all of itself, and now you've added keywords into this service description. Add keyworded comments in the service description for every single service that you offer. Now, possibly you're not in a service business. Possibly you're in a product business. Let's go back. So there's also an opportunity for you to use products. So under products, you have exactly the same situation. You can add those products by going in and dragging a photo into this location, giving the product a name, preferably keyworded, along with the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Then you can create a category for that product. And then you can also offer pricing and description. Finally, you can add a button, and the button could be like buy or learn more or get an offer, et cetera, et cetera. There's a number of different buttons that you can push. So but I'm mostly showing you the product category and the service category because those are locations where you can do a lot of keywording, and that's going to help Google to understand who you are and make you seem more prominent and more relevant, and that those keywords are going to help you to rank higher. Believe me, 99% of the listings on Google My Business have not taken full advantage of the service category, have not taken full advantage of the product category, and have not gone in and done descriptions under each of the products. Even if they were listing products, they haven't listed the descriptions. So there's a place where you can jump yourself ahead of other competitors in the area by putting the keywords in those locations. The next place, we're going to talk in detail about reviews in a minute, but the next place that you can get a lot of keywords is by getting your reviewers to put keywords in their reviews. Now, I know it's hard enough to get folks to do reviews for you anyway. So if you do get one of your clients or an associate, a power partner to do a review for you, and they've become a good friend, they've become somebody who is willing to help you out, not just with a review, but listen to what you need to make that review perfect. Then what you can do is suggest that they do some keywording in the review. Let me give you an example. This would be a perfect review. We truly enjoyed working with Jim. In this case, it would be Bill or whatever, but he made the experience of remodeling our kitchen a total pleasure. We visited the local showroom here in Hillsdale, where we were able to pick out all of our kitchen cabinets, flooring, counters, plumbing fixtures, and even our lighting from a wide variety of options. I give Hillsdale Kitchen Remodeling my highest endorsement. So you see, in this case, they've talked about who they worked with. That's a very good thing to ask your people to do. Number two, remodeling our kitchen. That becomes a keyword, a key phrase. We visited the local showroom here in Hillsdale, where we were able to pick out all of our kitchen cabinets, etc. And then Hillsdale Kitchen Remodeling, again, the keywords again. So this would be like the perfect review. And believe me, Google is grabbing those keywords from that review in addition to all the other things that we've already talked about. Finally, but not finally, actually, maybe firstly, would be on the description of the company. Once again, people will write this description without really thinking about it very much. But down here, you have the description. You get about, I forget how many characters now that you get when you do the description. You get 750 characters. Use as many as you can possibly use. We could add a few to this particular description, but you'll notice when you are in need of a mortgage, many agents and brokers or lenders, these are all keywords, will treat you like a number. Here's the rate, where's the credit score, on to the next customer. Anyway, you can, the rest of it is not keyworded, but the very first couple of sentences, we wanted to get those keywords in there so that, once again, Google's going to look at that and they're going to pick out keywords. Now, there are 5 different places where you can easily insert keywords. We'll talk about some more later in terms of pictures and posts, but I'm going to leave those for when we get to pictures and posts. But that's 2 more places where you could do some keywording. The more places you can put those keywords, the more likely it is that Google is going to see you as being both prominent and also being relevant. So that is number 1, is keywording. Number 2, let's talk about the website. So Google My Business is looking all over the internet to find out whether you are who you say you are, whether you're located where you say you're located, whether you're relevant online, how many people are coming to your website. They're looking at all kinds of different things to decide how high to rank you. And so there's a bunch of stuff that you can do on your website to make sure that you're seen as relevant and prominent. So the number 1 thing you want to do is make sure that your NAP is correct. What's a NAP? Well, a NAP is name, address, and phone number. So what you want to do is you want to have on your homepage, you want to have the name, Bill Raymond Home Mortgages, the address, and then the phone number. Website's fine too, but what you'll want to do is have those, and preferably in that order. Now, if they're in some different order, it's not going to destroy things, but it's better if it's NAP in that order. You also want the NAP to be exactly the same as it is on Google My Business. And as we'll talk about later, you want any place that your name, address, and phone number are found online, you want them to be exactly the same way. If you use suite spelled out, always spell out suite. If you are saying Olympic Boulevard, abbreviated Boulevard, always do it that way. So you want it to be exactly the same. When Google goes out and searches, if there's confusion with regard to the address or the phone number or the name, then it's going to be causing you to rank a little lower. And your name and address and phone number are out there a lot, at least if you follow the directions we're going to give you today. So number one would be your NAP. Number two, we mentioned it briefly a few seconds ago. The name of this website is Mortgage Help Los Angeles. Well, Mortgage Los Angeles are keywords. It's right there in the URL. It's a very good idea. I'm not going to suggest that you take a 10 or 15 or 20-year-old URL that's doing great, that you're getting lots and lots of traffic, and go out and buy or start a new URL, a new website, just in order to get keywords in your URL. But if you're thinking about changing your URL anyway, or if you're just starting out, your URL is always going to be better off to have keywords in it. Okay, after the URL, you're going to go to what is known as the title. And if you come up here to the, and you scroll over you scroll over this item at the top here, you're going to see it says Mortgage Broker Los Angeles, find the perfect mortgage. That is your title, and your title shows up in search as well. If we go back over here to the search that we did a few minutes ago, right here, you'll see that right here it says Best Los Angeles Mortgage Lenders of 2021. Let's go down to Bill's listing, which is down here, and you'll see Mortgage Broker Los Angeles, California, find the perfect mortgage. So that is the title, and the title is what's showing up in what we call the organic search at the top of that organic search. So you want your titles, all of your titles, not just the title on your homepage, but all of your titles to have keywords in them as much as possible. So let's go to loan process. It's one of the other pages on this particular website. Under loan process, you'll see that if we look over here, we're going to see Mortgage Los Angeles loan process. So you're using keywords again. The next place where you're going to want to use keywords is in your headlines. And in this particular case, you can see Mortgage Los Angeles loan process, the headline. Now you're going to see the sub-headline, how mortgage lenders in Los Angeles. You're going to see the sub-headline, 10 steps to getting a great mortgage and getting a mortgage approved. You're going to see in the very first sentence, mortgage rates, mortgage. So you don't want to stuff keywords. You want to use them naturally. You want to make sure that you're not going crazy using the word mortgage or mortgage loan. You want to use it differently in different ways. But good SEO, you'll always want to get these locations shown the way I'm showing them. Now, here is the secret sauce. So you see the headline here on the homepage is the best mortgage broker in Los Angeles. And we use mortgage and best mortgage broker, and we use the keywords here on the website. However, this headline is not necessarily the headline that Google's looking at. The way you're going to find the correct headline, what Google is actually referring to, is to look in your coding. It's very easy. Any amateur can do that. You go into your tools on Firefox, you go to browser tools, you go to page source. The other browsers have a page source also, but we're not going to go into each one. But you go to page source, and this is all the coding that's back behind your website. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go and you're going to want to push in this case, on an Apple, you're going to do Command Find, whatever the find method is for your computer. And you're going to put an H1. H1 is your number one headline. and you're going to search for that by, in this case, by pushing the caret, and you're going to see that the number 8, the H1 right here, is best mortgage broker in Los Angeles will help you find the perfect mortgage for your situation in any market. So all of the keywords there, mortgage broker Los Angeles is all right there. And so that's all covered. Now that's your top headline, and typically you're only going to have one of those on each page. Your H2, now we're going to do a find H2, and we're going to go looking for that. And the H2 here is how much home can we afford? So we're, in this particular case, how much home can we afford could be a very strong keyword for what people might be looking for. People are typically looking for rates and looking for their payments, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a good H2. Don't know if there's more H2s on this page. So this is the way you can tell that you have the appropriate H1 or H2 that are keyworded. You can put more H2s, you can add H3s even. You're probably going to want to use a web developer to redo your back end to create this code for you with regard to the headlines, if the headlines have not been done correctly with keywords. Of course, the next area for your website is going to be content. The more content, the better. The more relevant the content is, the more useful the content is, the more original the content is, the more that Google's going to like it, both for the organics, the organic ranking with regard to your website itself or the inside pages. That write a lot. People are saying today that a perfect pillar page has about 1,800 words. But you know, you can have smaller amounts than that, but it's got to be relevant, unique, and it's got to be helpful. Those are the 3 things Google's looking for. As you build your website and you create more and more content that is useful, relevant, and original, Google's going to rank your website higher, and therefore it's going to help your Google My Business as well. And as you're writing it, you're going to be wanting to write it for the consumer. You want the consumer to be able to understand it, get it, like it, enjoy it, find it fun and interesting to read. But then you're going to want to get those keywords in there as well, but just don't stuff. What's stuffing? Stuffing would be probably going to want no more than about 4 or 5% at the most of the words to be very heavily keyworded. So if there's 100 out of every 100 words, 4 or 5 words could be the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Finally, with regard to the way that you improve your website, which will improve your rankings, is with backlinks. So backlinks are where somebody has mentioned you on their website. They have mentioned maybe specifically the words on your website, and then they've done a hyperlink on those words back to your website. Or maybe they've just mentioned your website and given a link to your website. Those are called, those are backlinks. When you get backlinks on extremely good websites that are highly ranked themselves, that's going to help your website. What you want those to be, if at all possible, is keywords that you're being backlinked for. So if somebody else has a website and they have mentioned mortgage Los Angeles or mortgage broker Los Angeles or something like that, then they hyperlink that, then that's going to be a very big help to you with regard to the organics of your website, but it's also going to help your Google My Business. So this is the way that your website, the better your website is, the better that Google likes your website. When they're doing Google My Business algo analysis, the better your website is, then the better it's going to help your ranking on Google My Business. This is a very critical piece of secret sauce, and the details that I've given you, rarely is anybody paying that much attention to how they're doing keywording on a website in all those different ways in order to help your ranking both of the website and Google My Business. That's all the time we're going to have for today. We're going to go on tomorrow to talk about more secret sauce with regard to Google My Business, ways that you're going to get your Google My Business to rank higher and higher and higher. This is Randy Kirk. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.